night, a beautiful, totally not raining and cold Wednesday night for most of us. This is weird. As you guys can see, Taylor is not with us tonight. She is obviously, if you follow her on social media, you know she's been having some issues, we'll call it that, and she's doing well, but she left us in charge of the live tonight, so clearly she's not in her correct mind. But joining us tonight, we have Slide Job Sal, obviously host of Sal's morning show, the Splash and Dash. We have the co-host of the greatest podcast in the world, Andrea, of the Laps Down podcast and 4 Laps. And then we have the receptionist at NASCAR HQ, Dom Joseph. And then we have me.
I take your hats to.
Exactly. We'll talk about the document you released to the world later. Yeah, and then I'm Buddy. I co-host.
Oh my God, there's two
spoiler
of you?
alert. Well,
You are the Cars Tour.
Yeah, I am. But yeah, I host On Tour. Many of you have seen me on the live and probably wondered all year who the hell is Buddy Pulley. And after tonight, you're going to ask yourselves, why the hell Buddy Pulley? So let's get started. Martinsville, hot dogs and such. Sal, you're a big hot dog guy. You take it.
Listen, man, I love me a good hot dog. Never had a Martinsville hot dog, a little too red for my taste, but I would dabble if given the opportunity, maybe in the future. Never a bad hot dog. I've never had a bad hot dog, but Martinsville, heck of a race. William Byron, obviously, just Hendrick Motorsports dominating kind of the day, it felt like. There were periods where Penske looked strong and the teams got together at the front. But it looked really like the most prepared effort from the 24 team outside of maybe Darlington, which that one I think people forget about, didn't quite go their way. If they had won that race, the perfect game, so to speak. So I feel like this one was kind of a little bit of get back from from Darlington here at Martinsville and locking himself into the Final Four, puts that move on Blaney there too. That was some. Caused a little bit of a stir until kind of
Scoot and Boogie.
Yeah, he gave him the sauce. Said, Sabrina Carpenter's at the finish line, brother. I gotta go. And off to Phoenix is William Byron. I mean, that locks in our Final Four for the championship coming up on Sunday afternoon at everyone's favorite racetrack, Phoenix.
Don't know who everyone is.
Almost no one. But that is where we'll crown a champ coming up here this weekend.
William Byron.
Oh, go ahead, buddy.
William Byron getting the win. We would send it over to John, our resident William Byron excerpt, but he's somewhere at a bar in Nashville, I'm sure, still celebrating. Championship.
Probably under the bar by now.
Honestly, they're scraping him off the floor. But obviously the Final Four, William Byron, Denny Hamlin, Chase Briscoe, Kyle Larson, Dom. You look at those 4, is there a clear favorite? I feel like no one's been able to pinpoint one.
I think that's the good thing about this year's Champ 4 is not only is there not an odds-on favorite, but we're going to have a good champion this year regardless. I know an argument can be made, will it be upsetting if Kyle Larson wins because the back half of his season was nothing like the first half? But you look at William Byron, only 3 wins, but he was incredibly consistent this year. Just always up front, leading laps or in contention to lead laps. Denny Hamlin is our winningest driver this year with 6 wins in that 11 car. Could this finally be the year? Love the storyline of that going in. And then Chase Briscoe, first year with Joe Gibbs Racing and goes out there, wins 3 races. Has 7 poles to his name. I mean, they were just fast every weekend and just like Byron, quietly consistent. So I think we're going to have a good champion crown this year, regardless of who it is. And you can't ask for much more.
And I think something too, you look at the 4, we don't have a favorite and they're all very deserving and they all have a way better than 17.1 average finish. So, yeah.
Very true. Listen, I'm on your side here. I'm on your side.
Oh, okay. All right. Anyway.
I will say, though, it was impressive to see Byron win the way he did at Martinsville. And, he knew Blaney being in the lead was not okay, we've got the best car. We will methodically get to him, catch him, pass him, win. He knew, don't give the 12 car an inch, because if he sees it, he's going to take it. He's going to go and win this race. So he knew he had to go. Didn't junk his race car, moved him up out of the groove, just good short track racing. Got by him and said that was his move of, I am winning this championship. I am not going to get beat by this Penske team again. So
Yeah,
something to say about that.
A real coming of age victory for William Byron. I feel like he hasn't had one of these clutch wins before, since I guess his first win. Andrea, you have caught much flack for your fandom of Denny Hamlin. And I'm right there with you. I love Denny as much as the next guy. Like, Denny Hamlin wins this championship. What's to come on laps down?
Oh, well, I mean, as the conductor of the bandwagon, I will expect my own, maybe t-shirt in the mail or something, whatever. We can work it out later. But I will say one slight critique I have of the Final Four, as we have been so positive about it, why not bring the mood down a little? Is there maybe an argument to be made of, like, you wish that there was a bigger diversity of teams represented in the Final Four? Like, I feel like that's the only thing that I think could make it more interesting. While these four are extremely, like, uncontroversial, if any of them were to win, like, they've had decent enough seasons or great seasons that there's, like, less of the argument about deserving versus undeserving. I do think for strategy purposes and also just building hype around the, like, final race, it does feel like we're only talking about two teams. Like, everybody else is kind of going to file in line behind these Final Four, but, like, it would be more interesting, I think, if you had more teams represented.
Well, I think that's a perfect question for Dom, because I mean, this car that he helped build several years ago was supposed to produce parity in this playoff format that he's defended to the death for however long. Supposed to.
I didn't know Dom Bianchi was joining the show tonight.
Yeah, Dom Bianchi, France.
Well, let me just
hyphenated.
Let me go ahead and set the record straight. This car was approved 3 years before I began my employment with NASCAR.
Right.
And this point system.
How do you think he got the job, folks?
This point system was approved 9 years before my job at NASCAR. So yeah, I'm not taking responsibility for any of that. But in response to Andrea, the first thing I think of is it could be much worse. It could be 2019 when it was 3 Gibbs cars and 1 Stewart-Haas car.
Don't remind me.
Gosh.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. It could be worse. So
but no,
I feel better
I agree
already.
with you. I like the idea of a championship 4 where it's 1 car per team, because now it's really all you can see is 4 different teams putting everything they've ever worked for into 1 car. And that's the real testament of who is the best team in NASCAR.
Or even better, the greatest championship in this format, the first one, because we had all 4 engine manufacturers in the sport represented in the Final Four, and I forget who won.
Of course.
I think it was Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick. Yeah.
When your only competition is Ryan Newman in an RCR car, I think the championship's pretty much wrapped up.
Hey, man. Hey, when the lights are the brightest.
There it is, yeah.
Yeah. I guess moving on to some of the other motorsports stuff we got going on. F1 was in Mexico.
Before you go to F1,
yes.
I saw MJ in the chat, and I do wanna make a note, 2 notes actually.
Oh, there's the chat.
So Ryan Preece, everyone's favorite Ford driver, finished 6th at Martinsville. I believe he's now one of the most improved drivers year over year for his personal performance in his personal finishing position. So shouts to Ryan Preece, because I know how much MJ loves Ryan Preece, and Ryan Preece is a Connecticut guy, and I've listened to all of his modified podcasts recently, and I might be a Ryan Preece fan now too. I might denounce my past.
I think we all legally have to be a fan of Ryan Preece, because he's a friend of the show, honestly, through Taylor.
Yeah,
they had their little
goat status.
Yeah, their little hot dog reel that they put together at motorsport.com. That was really funny. So,
and then MJ also, with top comment of the night so far, made the best diva win as long as they didn't take out Stingray Rob at the Indy 500. So I guess we know what side MJ's on, which I kind of can get on board with here. 100%.
I have to say, like, I kind of told MJ before I came on this, I'm like, I'm going to be useless with the NASCAR stuff because I'm so tainted with bias. But like, I will say, like, I do hold beef and grudge for a while, and that one's going to hurt for a while.
Respect.
So it's a 3-horse race for the laps down team, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Prepare to be disappointed. F1. I know nothing.
Yeah.
That's the bottom two right here. Let's go.
Okay. So I'll give you the full rundown of Mexico. So our at the time current championship leader Oscar Piastri has been on a miserable run lately. Has just been tanking and genuine pace. Like it's like some of it was like crashes and like, you know, getting mixed up in turn one. Some of it was just genuinely like he doesn't have the pace. And Mexico was the cherry on top for him, buried pretty deep after qualifying in like, I believe 6th place and stuck behind Mercedes and a Haas. Stop. This is a family show. It was stuck behind a Haas as well. And you never want to really be stuck by a Haas because if they're in 4th, they're going to keep it. So he lost the lead of the championship. And now we have a full-blown, I would say 3-horse race. Max Verstappen still kind of mathematically lingering in the background. And Brazil next week is definitely a strength of his. But I think either way, similar to how we were just talking about NASCAR, whatever you're working with the champion, you're kind of looking at great storylines. You either have 2 first-time winners and on the same team, teammate rivalry, or you have somebody with like mathematically one of the best comebacks in F1 history. So for once, I think you could say it's fair to say F1 is cooking up something interesting. And you're not going to just watch a parade, I think, for the last 4 races. Would you agree, Dom?
100%. Yeah, this is, I mean, whenever I think of a close championship fight, my mind immediately goes to Abu Dhabi 2021, and I start having nightmares again. But no, I love the fight Max is putting up, where we just went from, well, it's going to be one of the McLarens on to 2026, and then Max turns a John Deere tractor into a rocket ship. It's just unbelievable how fast he's been. And it's just, he's inevitable is really what it is. And I love the analogy that Crofty said. This is Jurassic Park. Max is the T-Rex and Lando and Oscar are the 2 trying to run to the Jeep and get out of there safely.
Oh, that's a good one. I got to write that down.
Yeah, it's incredible. He's just,
we need a t-shirt of that.
Yeah.
Right when McLaren said, well, you can't count Max out yet, so we're still working hard to be as fast as possible. And sure enough, Max starts winning poles, starts winning races, and just maxing out points while McLaren is hurting themselves. The sprint race at Austin is the perfect example. So the last thing they want to do is give Max hope. Speaking of 2021, right when Max was on the cusp of really just dominating and being the convincing champion, Lewis Hamilton had a world champions drive at Brazil and reopened the title conversation. Max can do the same thing. I can't wait for Interlagos. I'm here for the Max comeback.
It's also worth like noting too, like I think McLaren has put themselves in a strange place where they have kind of won their constructors championship, and it seems like they have put all of their like eggs in continuing to next year's basket, and they have stopped like upgrading the car as much or like trying to make improvements, and they've kind of like left Lando and Oscar to fight for themselves against Max, who seemingly has pushed for improvements to be made to his car. He has the bargaining power of saying, you know, if you don't make improvements to this John Deere tractor that I'm driving, I will leave and go elsewhere. That is like negotiating power that Oscar and Lando don't have. So they're kind of stuck with, you know, what they've got. Whereas I think Max will continue to make pushes forward and get faster in the last 4 races. And yeah, I wouldn't want to be one of those McLaren boys personally with Max Verstappen in my mirrors.
And then one last thing in terms of numbers and stats and records, Max is a 4 times consecutive world champion. If he wins a 5th in a row, he will tie Michael Schumacher's record for consecutive world titles. Schumacher won championships 3 through 7, 5 years in a row with Ferrari.
I have a question about F1 that maybe you guys can help me understand. maybe you can't help me understand it because I tried to understand it. And what is the track limits rule in F1?
It varies by track for starters.
People complained online pretty fantastically, pretty bombastically about Max Verstappen off track this past weekend in Mexico City. And I don't know. I'm here in a Daytona sweatshirt with a Raise Hell, Praise Dale hat on. So, this is not something that I'm familiar with. It looked fairly egregious to the casual fan.
Andrew, I'm going to give this one to you.
Is that something that is acceptable? Because it seems like he went off the track, gained a position, got back on the track, and nothing happened.
So I think with F1, they kind of rock very much with racing incidents happen on the first lap that can definitely get you a lot of passes that maybe you wouldn't get on every other lap. And I definitely think that Max benefited from the general confusion that was happening in the initial incident on the first lap. They said, it looks like you guys worked yourself out. It looks like you guys gave places back where you needed to. You lost whatever advantage you might have gained, and it was a racing incident. We'll move on. And then separately, he also got in a little bit of a tussle with Lewis Hamilton. And that one, I believe he might have benefited from, and I can't remember exactly in my head what it looked like, but he might have benefited from the second rule, which is if you're at the apex first and you are Max Verstappen, you can get away with a lot of stuff as well. And that is, I think, probably an issue of just general FIA-ness of F1. I think that even Lewis Hamilton was confused how he walked away with that with a penalty. I think that's the problem with F1 governance, is that I don't think the drivers could really tell you what the rules are for track limits. They do a lot of just what can I get away with. And so if you give the place back, if you give your advantage back, you just hope that they take it as you worked yourself out.
I gotcha. That's interesting. It's interesting that it's okay, the penalty is to just go back where you were before you gained an advantage. So what is the negative? What is the discipline?
Yeah. And
it's worth the risk, right? If they're not going to call it and you get 2 spots. That's interesting as someone, again, in that outside of that world.
George Russell had the same exact complaint on his radio. He's going, I did the tough thing. I made the turn. I made the turn, and now I'm getting screwed over for it. And so I definitely think you're right on, Sal. What is the point? Why would I try to make the first turn if it doesn't really matter if I do?
Let's just Connor Zilic our way through Portland and cruise through the signs.
Something about them Red Bull boys. You got Max, you got Connor, and then Brock Feeney. I mean, he knows no track. He just knows air. If you saw supercars at
exactly.
Awesome. That was
Surfers Paradise, yeah.
I definitely think that's why people are now saying, okay, we got to put gravel traps there. I personally am anti that. I think it's fun. Let them go off a little, make your own path.
The nightmare of the gravel traps, though, is what we have at Monza, is where you just kiss the gravel trap and it all spills out onto the racing surface. And then you're just begging for a slowdown just so they can clean the racetrack, because you idiots can't stay on the racetrack.
And F1 gets in that way too. They get in their own way of good racing, because in the last lap, second to last lap, we had a full virtual safety car situation happen because Carlos Sainz, I won't name names, but Carlos Sainz, love him. His car died and he pulled it off track, but they said because his car was smoking, they still had to put a virtual safety car out. Just so happened to be the same time we were potentially going to see 2 overtakes in the top 4 of the race, which is the type of on-track action F1 desperately would like to have. So it was kind of their own governance gets in their own way. What's up, buddy?
I have a solution.
You run the show.
To track limits. I have a solution.
Okay.
Dog collars and electric fences. Just, right on the white line, electric fence all throughout the track, dog collars on the drivers.
Do you think that would be a safety concern at all? By way of, they have already so much going on, with the seat belts and the Hans device and the helmet. Do you think adding electricity to it could complicate things?
I think Buddy's just looking to make F1
y'all asked for an idea. Y'all asked for an idea.
True. That's so true.
The craziest thing is the engineers would find a way to rig the collar to the electrical unit and produce an extra 10 horsepower.
Yeah, you're recharging your battery.
I'm not a representative from Invisible Fence. I'm just an anti-kitty litter because the more in demand kitty litter is, the more expensive my life of having a cat is.
That's true.
um, moving on from F1, the Cars Tour schedule was released for 2026. Obviously, everybody here knows everything about it, but I guess I'll take it, guys.
Yeah, I'll leave it to you.
Some of the major highlights: North Wilkesboro will no longer be the championship race. This is, I think, in some casual late model racing fans, a bad move. This is definitely a good move. North Wilkesboro tears up a lot of stuff and it's just not a late model track. It is a cup track, and we need something to close out our season that is true late model grassroots racing. South Boston will be the new championship race. It's awesome. South Boston is an amazing facility. And then the Cars Tour is going to the Nashville Fairgrounds. So that's awesome. Catch me at Tootsie's, everyone. See. And then what else? Oh, and then 2 new tracks for 2026. Southern National Motorsports Park returns to the schedule. That's in Lucuma, North Carolina. I was be doing some actually can't say what I'm be doing for Southern National next year. And then Newport is having its own Wilkesboro style revival in Newport, Tennessee. That track is going to be on the schedule for the first time. So Cars Tour, woo!
I was pleased to see how many races are on the schedule. Like actually finally getting to see what the schedule looks like for Cars Tour. It's like, okay, we've got a good size schedule here to have a really good points championship. So
yeah, it's crazy that
cool.
A late model series can they have 15 races, which is perfect. It's what we had last year, 15 different tracks, but they're nicely spread out very evenly over 9 months. And I think there's a major racing series called IndyCar that hasn't really figured that out. So maybe they should maybe take some pointers. But,
and obviously the beauty of that too is the ability for these teams after the race to go back home, take all the time needed to rebuild and prepare the cars for the next race. And obviously, like a lot of these folks, this isn't what they're doing full time. So love that. So
yeah,
all good things.
That's the problem with expanding the schedule anymore, or moving the. I think Nashville is about as far away from home, which is the North Carolina area, as we can go, without it being too costly for the true grassroots guys. But on tour, watch on tour. We'll have a couple more episodes out this year. Lawsuit stuff. Dom, you wrote the charter agreement. It got released today. Tell us about it.
You gotta stop. I'm gonna get subpoenaed if you keep doing this.
I mean, you're roommates with Mike Ford. I mean, what's he gonna do?
I mean, listen, first of all, I want to give you a shout out for wearing a sweatshirt for a team that hasn't existed in 25 years. But
hey, they exist for 2 to 3 nights a year every year.
Back. Shout out the Brass Bonanza, man. Love the Whalers.
Hey, if MJ's still in the chat, F the Devils.
Oh no. Oh no. That ain't gonna sit well.
I stand by that statement as a Rangers fan. I can support that.
As a Penguins fan, I'm indifferent.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the charter, the big news of the day is that during this lawsuit now, whatever's presented in court becomes public record. And the big storyline is the charter agreement for 2025 and beyond was presented to the court and is now a public record. Everyone can see what the charter deal is.
Even me.
The one thing I noticed was the minimum payout for a chartered team is $141,000, and based on the race payout, the purse, winner gets 5% of the payout, and it just drops a little bit from there. But it's just, I was not good at math numbers, stuff like that doesn't work well with me. I'm good at looking at like stats, like racing stats and sports stats, but crunching the numbers and stuff like that really isn't my thing. So my brain started to hurt as I looked at the document. But it's a big deal. Like all this stuff was happening behind closed doors. No one wanted to talk about what was happening. No one wanted to publicize what the charter deal was. And when it got approved, what did it mean? And now everyone gets to see what the charter deal is going forward.
I think there's one really important part of this too, and it goes back. Taylor actually quote tweeted this.
Shout out to Taylor.
October, earlier this month, or earlier last year this month. I'm sorry, but it came up when I searched about the charter agreement on X, and this document of this magnitude, right, with this amount of detail, and I mean, Dom, you're talking about like it takes a lot to analyze. You know, when Richard Childress was interviewed last year, there was a comment he made where he talked about how he got the DocuSign at 6:37 in the evening. And they needed it back by 12 o'clock or the teams lost their charters. So I just find it really interesting now that we get to see all of this unfold, that it gives a little bit more context to the situation that the teams were in, and not that one side or the other is right or wrong, but it certainly wasn't the most ideal situation for these teams. And then something else I noticed in this too, quickly, just kind of searching the internet, no publicly traded companies are allowed to own teams, which is an interesting fact to me, which is like, people complain, where is Red Bull? Like, why doesn't Red Bull own a team anymore in NASCAR? Why doesn't this business get into motorsports? And I found that interesting also, in addition to the payouts, those two little nuggets, the contextual nugget, and then the open, or I'm sorry, the publicly traded stuff is also very interesting to me as well. So scratching my head for me. I love a good little bit of drama. I'm just the ultimate pot stirrer, and this is something that you can certainly get stirring on. But I don't know. I think I have more questions than opinions after something like this comes out. It's just really hard to kind of chew on.
Andrea, I know you're relatively new to NASCAR compared to, I guess, the rest of us, but what do you think about all this from a outside perspective, I guess?
I think it was just interesting today to see kind of the court of public opinion feel like it's a little more informed now on what some of the gripes were behind closed doors. I feel like every little nugget that's in the charter agreement, like, for example, the no publicly traded companies and stuff like that, there's like context that I feel like I still don't have, that even though a lot of people don't want there to be a full-blown, like, they would rather there be a settlement, though it is dirty laundry that would get aired out. Every sentence of that charter agreement has context behind it that, as a fan, I don't have, and I think that they would like to keep that a little bit more shadowy, away from the fans' public knowledge of how it all works behind the scenes. So it's been weird. As a fan, I'm not supposed to see this stuff, and I'm not supposed to be so invested, but now it's like the court of public opinion. We all have to, I guess, become lawyers overnight, or read Bob Pockra's tweets or whatever and figure out what's going on.
That's the solution.
Well, if there's one thing NASCAR fans know how to do, it's how to become experts on stuff they had no knowledge of the day before. Dom, did you have anything else to add?
No, that's it. Just, okay. It's crazy to see like what's coming out now. Like, I never would have thought the charter deal would become public, but now everybody knows what it is.
I think the balance of the sport is in the hands of the court right now, and I don't know, to leave you guys.
What is like the there was conversation though about like a settlement, like being closer than it was previously, right? I don't know.
Last week they had like settlement talks amongst the lawyers, but nothing came of that, as far as I know. But like they tried to get both parties.
Big yawn.
That was a big yawn happening.
Big yawn. The big boy.
All of this litigation's making me tired. But I think they just try to get both parties in. Just let's try to end this now. But I feel like both sides are kind of on the same page here. They don't want the other it comes down to this: when you sit down for your breakfast of bacon and eggs, just know that the chicken is dedicated and the pig is committed. And I don't know which one is which in this context, whether Michael Jordan and 2311 or the pig or the chicken or vice versa with NASCAR. But just know that's what it is. I feel like now's a good time to promote that spiders are our friends.
I think it's a good time while we're talking about the settlement and coming to terms. everyone out there that's a part of the ATYL Media fam in the chat across the audience is don't settle when it comes to how you display your diecasts.
Wow.
You want to display your diecast
What a
with
move.
one-of-a-kind pieces from Benzik Designs, and you get a special discount code. Use code ATYL 2025 for 20% off. Don't settle. Take it all the way and display your diecast with pride from Stands with Benzik Designs.
Wow.
That was a swing and a drive to deep right.
That was too good of a transition. We need Taylor back.
That was too good. You've practiced this. That's not fair.
That's all he was doing. Like I texted
The whole time you were talking, I was just cooking, writing notes down.
Just like muted, just mumbling to himself, like
the scribblings of a madman all across my desk in front of me.
Yeah, absolutely. That was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, buy from Benzik Designs. They're our friends. Support the brands that support ATYL, and let's all be friends and have cool diecasts that we can all display. Yeah. Okay. Not so good at the exit of the segue. I'll bring us back into the quadcopter mode, and I'll let you continue. The quadcopter.
Okay. All right. I'm with it. I don't know what that is, but I'm with it. Quadcopter. You mean the Championship 4?
It was danger close, buddy. That's for sure.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't. Okay. Anyway, Championship 4. I guess we'll start with Big Time Trucking. Who are the Championship 4? Corey Heim, my boy Caden Honeycutt, Ty Majeski, and Tyler Ankrum. There we go.
I was going to say, do you know the 4?
I did. I forgot it. Anybody have an argument for anyone other than Corey Heim to win this championship?
Yes, absolutely. I would say the argument is for anyone but Corey Heim to win, just to see how the shills will backpedal their way away from this playoff format.
Yeah.
That's about the only, and that would also be my take for Xfinity, because if Corey Heim and Connor Zilic don't win their respective championships, what are we doing? Like, what's the point?
Dude, I mean, you look at when you look at Corey Heim and Connor Zilic and the dominant seasons they have. I mean, it's kind of like, everyone has the devil on their shoulder and the angel on their shoulder telling them I'm not religious, so I just have happy in my ex-wife. And so I look at it as Connor Zilic and Corey Heim should win the championship. And this is going to shock all of you. I want Connor Zilic and Corey Heim to win the championship.
That's an okay take for you,
because they deserve it. But also, how are they going to defend not going back to the 36 race championship if they don't win? And I'm like, oh, Tyler Ankrum looking at me from across the bar, looking real good. Like
a Tyler Ankrum Carson Kvapil championship
would be crazy.
Hey,
they wouldn't have a racetrack to run the Cup race on Sunday.
Dude, with my heart, Caden Honeycutt and Carson Kvapil would. This championship would feed families. I don't know which ones other than mine, but I'm sure some. Probably theirs.
The Z-Max folks would appreciate it.
Yeah. Ty Majeski is probably going to win the truck title, but
which is crazy, right?
This is a time where I feel like it's so obvious I'm not a competitor, because if I were like one of the other three that haven't had the dominant season, that's like obviously should be the winner of the championship, I would not even want to win. Like, what a headache. What an absolute nightmare to have to bebop around to all the press and explain yourself to everybody and be like the poster child for why playoffs suck. What a nightmare. So honestly, if you're one of those three, like, guys, you did such a good job getting to the Final Four. I would sit this one out. You know, like, I'm not a competitor. Like, you should just let him go.
Yeah. Dom. Yeah. How did those comments make you feel?
Yeah. Stop looking at the Logano cars behind me.
Okay, all right. Yeah. I mean, Corey Heim has 10 more wins than the other championship 4 contenders combined in the truck series.
It's crazy to think about.
That's insane. And probably no offense to Tyler Ankrum, but probably the least deserving of the 4 is Tyler Ingram, and he's the only other one that has a win. Xfinity, it's Connor Zilic, Justin Allgaier, Jesse Love, Carson Kvapil. Connor Zilic, 10 wins on the season, probably should win the championship. Why is he not?
Because Justin Allgaier is the best driver of the 4 of these drivers at Phoenix. That's the only reason.
I have a big feeling Allgaier might give him a race that he can't win.
I'm a big Connor Zilic fan, and I can't help but to think, like, does the pressure also play a role in it? And when you're thinking about who's maybe best prepared for that sort of like one race takes all pressure, it would probably be Justin, right?
I mean, didn't he race that one race where he blew his tire out, went to the back, they put a new tire on, he rode all the way back to the front and won the race?
No, last year was he got a pit road
penalty, right? Something where he started at the rear.
Did he also get a restart violation?
So yeah, I think it was what happened.
Cut a tire, sped on pit road when he came
speeding on pit road to serve when he served the penalty.
Effect.
But he did cut a tire and come down pit road, and that's where he got caught speeding. Wow.
So.
Yeah, Connor Zilic is cooked. How do you fight that?
It's not right, but it's probably what's going to happen.
I will be in tears if Carson Kvapil wins the championship. I'm just going to let y'all know that right now.
A Caden Honeycutt truck championship and a Carson Kvapil Xfinity championship would be the lore that would be written. Would be just unbelievable.
Well, let me tell you, the prominence of Car Store content on this outlet would go through the roof, because clearly,
if they win, if Heim and Zilic don't win and like aren't even competitive in the race, NASCAR might call Winston up and say, like, hey, we are going all the way back to the beginning. We
exactly.
start right back from scratch.
Yeah, whatever the equivalent of Marlboro's Mission Win Now will be the title sponsor for Cup next year.
Right.
But moving on to the Cup Series, we obviously know the championship 4, unless you had something else to add, Andrea. It looked like you were about to say something.
No. I don't really want to participate, I think, in the Xfinity race. I really, really, really like Connor. And I just, as soon as it's going to get real dicey, I think I might abstain. You know what I mean?
I think for the sake of the playoff format and
he's got to be the sacrifice, you think?
Bias, yeah, I think I kind of thought you
Connor
would say
that.
Yeah.
I could see that coming from you.
Just going to put this out there.
Yeah.
The spring race at Phoenix, Allgaier led 130 laps.
Yeah, but that was pre-Connor Zilic breaking. That was pre-Connor Zilic breaking his back and getting a bionic back brace on and dominating the whole series.
Well, he had already won. He won the week before at Coda.
Yeah, but that was I had to wreck Connor or Carson Kvapil to do it.
That is true.
Yeah, he came back and put together.
And Zilic finished 16th.
Championship performance if I've ever seen one.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
One thing before we go to the Final 4 for the Cup Series, we talked a little bit about trucks. We talked a little bit about Xfinity. Do we want to talk a little bit about the truck news for Kaulig and Ram Trucks a little bit, as they've announced a couple of new drivers recently?
Considering I totally forgot. Yes, Sal, let's talk about that.
Yes. So Brendan Butterbean Queen is
shout out to him, Car Store legend,
personal friend of Buddy's, no doubt, just like Dale Jr. But the first driver announced, but Daniel Dye and the recently departed from Spire Motorsports Cup ride, Justin Haley, was also announced as a truck driver full-time for Kaulig. All of this also happening at the same time as Kaulig announces they're going to put a pause on their Xfinity program in 2026. So a lot of news around Kaulig that affects both the truck and the Xfinity series. Figured it's a good time just to bring it up, bubble it up for some conversation here before we get into more Cup related things as we move forward here tonight. But really interesting. I think for me, real quick, just this Kaulig truck team is going to be hot coming in. I don't think there's going to be any delay in, new OEs coming in. How long will it take for them to be successful? they are certainly positioning themselves to make an impact and make it almost an immediate impact. So we won't know until we see those cars back on track again in 2026. But the driver lineup that they have so far, that's only 3 of the 5 seats that could be filled. They may opt to do some fun things like have a rotating rides for the other 2, or however they want to position that moving forward. I don't think I know anything or we know anything that the public doesn't really know about that situation right now, but really intrigued by those decisions because they will, I think, ultimately play into kind of what we see in the future for open rides and silly seasons yet to come.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Dodge and their it's Dodge. I'm calling it Dodge. And their previous comeback to the sport in 2001 and how much money they put into it. I don't think colleagues seen this much money move in that building since they got popped with the maneuvers a couple of years ago. So I think this is a great move for Justin Haley. I think he needs to get in some winning equipment again, and I'm a big believer in Justin Haley. He's a hell of a race car driver. He's just got to get in a position to where he can prove it not only to us but himself. I know Justin on a very base level, personal level, if that makes any sense. And dude's in his head too much, and he needs to get in a position to where he can win and look himself in the mirror and be like, I'm a badass. So I'm hoping for the best for Justin.
Well said.
Yep.
Cool.
Butterbean's going to kick everybody's ass, but
I'll say one more piece of truck news. Lane Riggs signed
obviously
an extension with Front Row.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, the truck team's not in question, I guess.
Crazy work, buddy. I love it. Andrew, you had your hand up. What's going on over there?
I didn't know if we were done with truck news and I could add one more thing to Xfinity news.
Oh, let's do it.
Why not? Let's go for it.
I saw somebody mention it in the comments earlier, and you know what, buddy? I'm going to give us a quick pass to talk about supercars. The fact that Jesse Love is going to be making, they called it a cameo, which I'm kind of dumb and I didn't read the caption all the way. And I literally thought by cameo, they meant like cameo, like he's just going to show up and say hi. And I was like, well, give him a car. And then I read and I was like, okay, they're giving him a car. Yeah. But in Super 2 for Adelaide, the like feeder series, I guess is the right way to refer to it. Feeder series.
For those of us who watch professional level racing in America,
the good stuff.
it would be the equivalent of a Pro Late model in the car store.
Okay. Right.
Everyone is so very confused, I think.
Yeah, no. So
I think
cars
you just made it worse.
Metaphor. Okay, rough for this crowd, me. But I think it's pretty exciting, and I cannot overstate enough how excited I am for this like little foreign exchange student program that we have set up where like they send us folks and we send them folks. And I'm really excited to see Jesse Love and Austin Cindric make their supercars appearances. I don't know as much about the supercars, like inner working politics of like how good the equipment they're going to be in is and how competitive they will be. But I thought it was interesting that Jesse Love was going to be making what seems like kind of a last minute, this came together and he's making an appearance.
And I think it's funny too that you bring up supercars on the one show that Taylor's not on since she's so against having supercars on the channel. We've been barking up the tree for a while, and guess what? No supercar show. Yep. See, you know why that siren's red? It's because she doesn't, she's throwing up a red flag for it. They call it Super 2 because Jesse Love is number 2 in Xfinity, by the way.
Oh, yeah. It's still on her. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And Austin, okay. Anyways,
speaking of Xfinity, also someone in the chat here commented, and it's big news for the Xfinity series that Sam Mayer is going to be watching from his couch in Phoenix next week.
Me too, Sam. Me too.
We're going to be on the same wavelength.
NASCAR gave him a week's paid vacation to Cancun.
Yeah. So we won't see Sam again until Daytona. Really quickly, I guess maybe we can go around the room here. Is that the right call after what we saw at Martinsville between he and Jeb Burton? I mean, that incident seemed to be kind of a little bit back and forth. People have opinions on how he races Mayer. People have opinions on how Mayer responds, but hitting somebody and wrecking him into the wall at Martinsville on the cool down lap, especially after what we saw at Martinsville in the Xfinity series last year, where it was just a total dumpster fire. And I mean, was it the right move? Are we all kind of in agreement in that one? Because for me, I think there's no other choice.
Yeah.
I mean, the Lion does not concern himself with these two drivers on a regular basis. But yeah, sure. You know, I it was very similar to Matt Kenseth heroically crashing Joey Logano into the wall 10 years ago at Martinsville, which resulted in a suspension. So if I guess we're being consistent, then yes.
Okay, perfect. I love that. Thank you for bringing that tidbit back into the conversation, buddy. That was a good one.
This is me with like maybe NASCAR stuff that I don't normally concern myself with. Should he have played it off better in the after race interviews about not admitting to doing it on purpose? Right? Because like you would want to play it off a little bit more.
One,
if you didn't
one,
want to get suspended.
one would think. But
Okay.
Sam Mayer, little backstory on Sam Mayer. I used to have a YouTube channel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, before this, and the first driver I ever interviewed on the channel was Sam Mayer. We had 36 subscribers. He should not have been talking to us without a PR person present.
I will say he seems like a great interview, though.
He's a fun dude.
Great quotes.
This was right after he and Ty Gibbs got in a fight at Martinsville.
Whew.
And he had some expletives that he threw at Ty Gibbs, and ones that maybe would have gotten him sent to some sensitivity training had he said it on a bigger platform. That video does not exist anymore. Because anyway.
No, I have to say, like, as somebody who is not,
he hasn't been known to say
bring a lawyer.
It was funny because when I watched the video, I could only imagine what his PR rep was doing, standing behind like the pit box, like arms in the air, like, hey, dumb guy. Like, what are you, without hurling expletives myself, how could you be so dumb as to open your flap as wide as he did, and for the words that came out to come out, especially with the history of Martinsville in the Xfinity series and then last year in the Cup series, and everybody gets suspended and everybody's in trouble and Martinsville seems to be the epicenter of these types of things. And it's like, here, let me just stand in front of a hot microphone on national television and not do myself any favors.
But like bars, though.
Some of it was so well rehearsed that I almost thought, like, is some of this written for
That's
him?
What I'm saying.
Like, I'm not gonna say it because this is a PG show, but like the "it factor" quote, I mean, that's poetry.
Thank you.
It's so well practiced. Maybe it's just like in the mirror beforehand, be like, okay, this is what I would say about this particular person.
Yeah.
I watched that interview up until like I knew. See, this is what Happy. Can you please give us your comments on the situation?
Happy's feeling uneasy about the whole situation.
I think I'm in agreement with Happy, honestly.
He doesn't like that. Never mind, I can't say that. It involves Happy. You have the it factor, you know.
Happy is the it factor here on ATYL Live.
He is.
Okay.
I'm done derailing.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Shout out to Ryan.
Or Sal.
Really quick before we go to Cup, you know, we talk a lot about playoffs. We talk a lot about the Final Four. We talk a lot about drivers going to have to take chances at Phoenix. They're going to have to lay all the cards on the table. And now you can lay your cards on the table with NASCAR.shop. NASCAR.shop/ATYL is your place to get your favorite collectible NASCARs from your favorite drivers, teams, races. They have it all. You can tune into their social media accounts as well. They do a lot of like card breaks, which is something I'm learning about. And they do a great job of giving education to collectors and folks who are fans of memorabilia, a new outlet to really exercise their fandom through NASCARs, which is wild. It's something super unique and cool that we have the opportunity to be affiliated with. So big shouts to NASCAR.shop for being a partner of the show and of ATYL. So again, support those businesses that support ATYL. They're our friends. We are your friends. We are all friends. That is my shameless plug. QR code is on your screen. My shameless plug for NASCAR.shop. And I'll take us back out to the quadcopter mode, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude, delivery way better than Sam Mayer's. Great job. Great job.
Yeah, I didn't get that one I didn't do in the mirror, but
yeah, you will be at Phoenix.
Perfect.
Yeah. And who else will be at Phoenix? Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, Chase Briscoe, and William Byron.
Great segue.
We said there's no clear-cut favorite, but who we picking, boys and girl?
Thank you for
nobody. Don't all say it at once.
I feel like I've been yapping the whole time. So somebody else start.
Yeah, me too.
Andrea,
you go first, Dom. No, I'm deferring to Dom.
Okay.
All right. Well, I said in January, jokingly, but also kind of seriously, was FedEx the problem the whole time? What if that was the one thing keeping him out of the promised land?
They're shipping everything else, but just not Denny to a championship.
So I'm all in. I'm all in on the 11.
All right. All in on the 11.
Okay.
All aboard.
I can go next.
There you go.
I have the answer that I would like to be true. That doesn't always reflect what I fear may happen.
Give me your heart and your head.
I'm kind of feeling like William Byron is on kind of a bit of... I'm feeling vibes from him that he could make something happen. I feel like I am going to go with William Byron. I think it's just vibes, really, but like it's kind of vibes for any of the four that you're picking. And I feel like I'm getting vibes from William Byron. So I'm going to go in that direction.
We operate off vibes here. Sal, who you got?
A little bit more educated probably from Sal.
For me, I think there is an element of vibes, but I do think there's also an element of, the driver who advances first has the best chance to get themselves set for Phoenix. We saw that with kind of what Joey did last year, and the way all that,
Joey won it.
Right. So there's something to be said about preparedness. And with the Penske cars not being a factor this year at Phoenix, for me, it's a Denny Hamlin championship to lose. That is my opinion. I don't love what I saw out of the Joe Gibbs camp this past week at Martinsville. Mechanical failures from Toyota. That's not really a Joe Gibbs problem as much as it's a Toyota problem, a mechanical issue. But don't love that for them. For me, my heart says Denny Hamlin. I would love to see him get this championship to put that cherry on top for himself before the eventual retirement comes from him in the next few years. He can say he left it all out on the table and he got it all that he wanted out of it. So wouldn't be super upset to see Byron win the championship either. But for me, I think those two are I'm kind of between those two, with Denny being my guy.
There's been a lot of factors that have gone into my pick to win the championship. It's been the two on my shoulder, like I've said, my heart, my mind, whether or not I want, what kind of reaction I want on a Laps Down podcast next week. If the pin can stay in the hand grenade under the hood, Denny Hamlin, 20 years of trying, 20 years of frustration, clip that, Lee Diffie, use it. He will win his first championship. Because how hilarious would it be for a NASCAR representative to have to hand the Bill France Cup, France Cup, over to Denny Hamlin?
The storylines write themselves.
Absolutely. Yeah. Jordan Bianchi, there's an easy one for you.
I just got chills remembering Lee Diffie calls the end of the race. And oh my God, I cannot wait. I love it.
Oh my goodness. I do. My theory for Martinsville is that they were definitely trying something for Phoenix. Gibbs.
Yeah.
Gibbs.
Yeah.
Something they were trying. It's like the All-Star race. It's like, why not? We've got nothing to lose here. Why not try something out of the box? And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
And do we feel about, does anyone feel any type of way about Kyle Larson and his chances? Obviously, for me, not the same since the Indy 500 double attempt. And that was long ago in the spring. It feels like we use that as the benchmark, but it's been most of the year now to a point where I think when we look back on 2025, he'll have made the championship 4, right? But he's not as dominant as we've seen him be.
I mean, obviously Stingray Rob preyed on his demise. So
with that
Stingray Rob has some power and some swing, and he was like, "Hey, you're not going to win another race, buddy, if I have anything to do with it."
That's right. That's right.
I mean, the way he won in 21 would make this championship a major letdown. Because, like, I feel like you've got to leave no doubt.
You're one to talk about major letdowns of champions in this format. I had to throw one in there. I just had to do it. But dude, I don't know how much longer we're gonna have this format. Like, I gotta give them all while I can.
Sal, go ahead.
I mean, for me, it's just one of these things as we watch Kyle Larson's season kind of unfold. It just hasn't been one that, a bad year for Kyle Larson's a good year for anybody else. So it's just really interesting that we talk about the Final Four and he's in it and he's like, is he really a factor? I'm sure he will be. But somebody commented in, like, this is the one we're not going to talk about. Could he be the sneaky guy to end up in victory lane? And I think this year in particular, there's a 0% chance of a Mickey Mouse champion, where you could look back and people could have opinions, and that could be different in the past, regardless of who you want to win. These are, to me, the 4 most deserving drivers out of the Cup field this year. So for all the faults of the playoff format,
Shane Van Gisbergen's been on a hell of a run here lately. I don't like. Most
first
wins,
oval win incoming.
He
got his first oval win at the
Legend Field
in Charlotte.
Yeah.
I mean, now he's just got to figure it out everywhere else.
Yeah. So
I have like kind of a newer fan question.
Yeah.
So like coming in last year, I felt like really after Joey Logano. I'm sorry, Dom. I'm not trying to dogpile. After the Joey Logano situation.
Harvick only has one, and Buddy has to live with that for the rest of his life.
At least I'm apologetic about it, unlike Buddy, I felt like it was like really a lot of momentum was gained in we need to change the format conversation, because there's no like real person that could come out of this that's like a total like, oh my God, they don't deserve it. Do you think that those discussions will lose any of their steam? Do you think that there has been, I think like on the teardown and stuff, they've talked about like the popularity and the unpopularity of whoever wins the championship is really what will be the downfall of the playoff format. Do you think some of the steam could be lost in those conversations if fans seem pretty okay with whoever wins?
I think that's why we need Connor Zilic and Corey Haim to lose the championship.
Okay, so they're the sacrifice.
I don't know. I don't know if it needs to get that extreme. I still think the conversation around the championship format would be there. At least from my side of the table. It's just
Sal will keep it going.
I will be the flag bearer of the me and Freddie Kraft will be the flag bearers of a 36-point championship. And Buddy, we could all get in on it together, because I mean, to me, I think there's a few, I mean, without this devolving into a playoff format conversation, but like the short version is like the longer playoff format, they make every race special. And the playoff design makes the playoff races special. Once you win your way in, it's over. None of them matter. You can go home and sit on the couch and we'll see you for playoff time. And I think that's where fans get a little disconnected, versus a system where, and I'm not saying the 36-point format, the 36 race format system makes sense, but something longer form, I think, makes it mean more throughout the rest of the year. So that's my 2 cents on it.
Absolutely. And I'll give a shout to MJ while she's here, because she brought up a great point. Even if you're in it for just the pure drama entertainment, Martinsville was pretty lame. I feel like for a cutoff race, the lack of race manipulation and riding the wall really ruined it for me. And so it's really losing that factor as well. You know what I mean? If we're not even going to cheat a little bit, then what are we doing here?
Exactly. It's lost all.
They took all the fireworks out, really, in my opinion.
Dude, it's a lost art. It's a lost art these days.
Dude, I'm sacrificing my love life to fly the flag of 36 race championship in my bedroom. That's all I'm saying.
And we honor that sacrifice, buddy. We
Yeah.
we
I think it's time to go.
I'll give some stats to finish off.
Please.
Here's your average finishes of the championship 4. Denny Hamlin 14.2, William Byron 14, Kyle Larson 13.5, Chase Briscoe 12.5.
Pretty darn too.
All way above 17.1.
Yeah, a lot better than 20.9 SVG.
I mean, look, might as well have got one more in there before.
He's learning. Be nice.
Exactly.
Exactly.
He could have made it into the Final Four and won Phoenix and had the most wins on the season, and then we would have kept the playoff format forever because winning really does mean everything. So maybe I'm good with waiting until next year for that. Anybody else have anything to add?
Cat's on camera for the outro.
For the outro, all right. Cat's on camera.
I only have like my degenerate money spending habits to show everyone.
Okay. All right. Cool.
These cats are yappy. They got a lot to say. I love it.
They do. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the live. I promise Taylor will be back next time. Everybody go to social media and wish Taylor well in her endeavors of life. We love her, and we will see her back soon. And we love all of you. Thank you so much again. And we will see you next week on the live. Good night, everybody.